video games. That is what this video is about. Hey everybody, it's Mongolian Chris here, and welcome to a new collection video. I haven't done one of these, surprisingly, ever. It's a review of all of my, at least the games I have physically, all the ones I have in my collection. There are a couple games here that I think should count, so I will mention them later, that I have digitally, I just don't have physical copies of. But today's video is a full review of my entire video game collection, plus a couple special things that I have ordered that I haven't opened yet. I know what they are, but I figured I'd open them up with you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have one PS2 game to unbox and two PS1 games to unbox. So I'm going to unbox the PS1 games first and just start that way and then work this way until we get to big old Master Chiefy over here. But box number one. I believe I know which one this is. This should be... Oh, no, it's the other one. Yeah. That's the right one. So, starting with this box, we have here, very nicely bubble wrapped, is a nearly complete in-box copy of Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1. I say nearly complete. It is missing the manual, which does kind of blow, but all the discs are in here, and I believe if I check right now, they should all be in good shape. Yep, they're all good. I believe I remember seeing on the listing that this was bought it when it came out and never even played it. So yeah. We've got a nearly complete, pretty good condition copy of Final Fantasy VII. There's only like a couple cracks on the back of the case, but these jewel cases crack so easily. But yeah, so we got Final Fantasy VII, and fittingly, right next to it, we've got Final Fantasy VIII with the same issue. It's cracking on the back, but we got Final Fantasy VIII for PlayStation 1, and I believe it's in this box that I almost opened. Yeah, this is the right one. So in this box, we have Final Fantasy IX for the PlayStation 1. Same idea. This one is a complete copy, has all the manuals and stuff. And it's a black label, it's not greatest hits. But this one also has this big crack right there and this big crack right there. So not minty, but still in good enough condition for me to warrant having it in the collection. If it's super beat up, I'm not gonna buy it. I do like to take care of my stuff. And when I do buy used games, I do like to make sure they're at least in okay condition. Right after that, we have Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PlayStation 1. It's a two in one. So this side, I believe, yeah, is Final Fantasy IV. And then on this side, if I can get it open, is Chrono Trigger. So yeah, I do know that the PlayStation 1 version of Chrono Trigger is not like the most ideal version to play. But I have it on my 3DS, so I'm not going to worry about that. Right after that, we have, twinsies. I'm twinning with this game. This is a game I've wanted to have in the collection for a very, very long time. Really, really, really long time. It's a grail game of mine, and that is Ghost in the Shell on the PlayStation 1. It's quite rare. Not a lot of people bought it, understandably. But it's a nice, arcadey, kind of shooter beat 'em up, where you play as a Tachikoma. Otherwise affectionately known as a spider tank. And yeah, if you guys watched the previous video, the history of the Ghost in the Shell franchise, I talked about this game. And I talked about not having it when I was filming that video. But literally, I think the day, maybe 2 days after I finished editing that video and it went up, I saw a listing for this that was actually not astronomically expensive, and I went ahead and bought it. So now I can say that I have it in the collection now. And yeah, that's what the disc looks like. But yeah. One disc has really cool full motion video cutscenes that are fully animated. Yeah, so very, 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 very excited to have this in the collection. And next after that is a game that I have very, very fond memories of growing up, and that is Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Me and my sister would play this all the time, literally all the time. This is the game we were playing when my original PS2 decided to melt because the fan stopped working. But we were playing this game and managed to get it out of there. And then, of course, a couple months later, we ended up trading in all of our PlayStation and PS2 games, and Wii games, I think. So yeah, all the PS2 games I have are none of them are my original copies, sadly. But I've done a fairly good job of rebuying all the ones I had growing up and buying some ones that I thought looked fun. So yeah, but that's beside the point. Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Very, very fond memories of that. Another one is Tekken. First one. Played this a bunch growing up with my dad. He when I rebought this, I was surprised how expensive it was, because I remember what we traded it in for, and it was not that much. So I'm glad to actually have it, and me and my dad played it not too long ago. Still kicked my ass at it. He's still really good, even though it's been like 15 years since he played it. After that, these three are new to the collection. So we have Air Combat, which is if you're ever interested in the Ace Combat franchise, this is the first game in the franchise, Air Combat. We have Ace Combat 2. Funny little thing, they just changed the name and didn't tell anyone. So they're like, we're just going to change the name, hope nobody notices. And nobody really cared. So Ace Combat 2, very similar gameplay-wise to the first one. And then we have Ace Combat 3. Funny thing about Ace Combat 3, the North American and PAL version of the game are really, really short compared to the Japanese release, which I believe is 2 discs. Japanese release has a bunch of really, really cool cutscenes that were done by Production IG, and when they decided to bring it to the North American market, they just didn't put them in there. Very, very sad. But yeah, this is Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere. I haven't played this one, but very same. If you ever played an Ace Combat game, the gameplay hasn't really changed. The gameplay design hasn't really changed since the PS1 days. So they're very easy to jump into if you've ever played any of them. Now we are jumping to the PS2. This is where most of my childhood was spent until we got a Wii, was the PS2. And starting off with the PS2, we have Ace Combat 4, one of my all-time favorite games of all time, ever. I love this game to death. The soundtrack's great. The campaign is awesome. The story is awesome. It's just a really, really good game. And there's not much else I can say about it. It's really good. Right after that, we have Ace Combat 5. Another game, really, really good. Actually, haven't finished this one. There's a mission like right in the middle that's like really, really difficult. The difficulty jump is insanely high. And so I haven't actually beat this one, but completed box. Most of these are completed box. And I do want to go back and finish playing this one, though. I do think it will be very fun, because this one is, of all of the games besides 7, this one has like the most anime-ass plot ever of all time. And right after that, we have Ace Combat 0, the Belkin War, complete with GameStop stickers on the box everywhere. I do want to do a case swap with this eventually, but this is Ace Combat 0, Belkin War. This one has full motion videos instead of cutscenes. Very, very interesting plot-wise. It's one of the best in the franchise. These three PS2 games are called the Holy Trinity of Ace Combat. So these three are like the best in the series. And then 7 came out, and everyone really liked 7. But moving on, we have Crash Mind Over Mutant. Funnily enough, I actually played this originally on the Wii with the motion controls, and I saw it actually came out on PS2, so I figured I'll pick it up there. And it's pretty fun still. I picked it up pretty quickly. It's just like a Crash Bandicoot adventure game. Really, there's not a whole lot there. You control like these mutant characters, and they like power you up and stuff. But yeah, this one is quite a bit of fun, very, very chill, and it's actually multiplayer. You play as a co-op. Next up, we've got Tenchu: Wrath of Heaven. This I picked up when I originally made my PS2 rebuying video way, way, way back then. This is one of the ones I picked up then. It's like a stealth adventure game. It plays a ninja, and I haven't really played much of it. The controls are a bit clunky, but the gameplay is pretty fun, and yeah, so I'll probably get into this again. But yeah, I just a lot of these PS2 games, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play that, and I never do, but I just have them in the collection. Next up, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is a greatest hits copy, and the current state of the Battlefront collection that's on, I want to say Switch, PS5, and Xbox. It's pretty good having a original copy lying around, because that launch-in was pretty rough. Campaigns were fine, but I actually am excited to try out the Star Wars Bounty Hunter, because that just came out. But that's besides the point. But this is Battlefront 2 on the PS2. I don't have the first one. I only ever played Battlefront 2 at my house and at a buddy's house. But yeah. Speaking of at a buddy's house, we have a factory sealed copy of Monster Hunter, the first one. I played this a bunch at a buddy's house, just on his character, and it's offline. You can play this online, one of the few PS2 online games, and the servers are offline now. You can't even. I mean, you probably could play single player, but this game is so grindy, so grindy, and yeah. So I'm just proud to keep it in a sealed wrapper. I am excited for the new Monster Hunter game. Just got announced fairly recently. I haven't played Arise yet, but I have some very fond memories of playing this over at some friends' houses. Next up, we have Star Ocean Till the End of Time. This one I have yet to check out. This actually came with a dust cover originally, but it was so ratty, I just threw it away. It was taped together, it was yellowing, and it smelled like a smoker's house. Thankfully, the inside doesn't, but yeah, this is a 2-disc game. That's how big it is. Disc 1 and Disc 2. Disc 1, Disc 2. Big, beefy manual. This game is one of the heaviest in my collection. Big, beefy manual. But yeah. I actually have this on the PS5 digitally, so I might play it on there. And, actually, thank you, me, for reminding me. Any of these games that you guys see you want me to do a playthrough of on the channel, just let me know, and I'll see about getting it recorded and uploaded. So if there's any games on here that interest you, want to see me play through on the channel, feel free to let me know, and I'll see if I can make it work. Next up, we have Medal of Honor Rising Sun. This I just picked up because I never really played any shooters on the PS2, so I thought it'd be interesting to see what it was all about. So yeah, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Next up, we have another Medal of Honor game, Medal of Honor Frontline. Same sort of deal. I just thought it'd be interesting to play a shooter on the PS2 because the PS2 has a really good controller, but it's a bit clunky, and so I thought it'd be interesting to see what it was like playing a first-person shooter on the PS2. Next up, we have Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I do eventually want to get all of the Lord of the Rings games. I do really like them. I played this one a lot growing up, and it's just really fun. This one's complete in box as well. And yeah, I want to get the other two, or is it three? Either or. I want to get the other Lord of the Rings games and make sure they're added to the collection too. And then next up we have Shadow of the Colossus, absolute classic. Just had to get it. I never had it growing up, but I probably will play it. The new updated re-release version of it. This one I had to find a manual separate from everything. It didn't actually come with one when I got it, but I do want to eventually play Shadow of the Colossus just because it's such a classic. Next up, we have Rogue Galaxy, another RPG. This one I actually also have on the PS5. I've been meaning to play it there, but it looks interesting. This one does not have a manual, so it is not complete in box. I do need to get about fixing that, but like sort of space piratey kind of deal. It looks interesting. Art style looks good, and yeah, so I might play this on the PS5 eventually. Next up, we have a greatest hit copy of the Kingdom Hearts 1. I never really played this growing up. This was a recommendation from one of my friends to get, and I know there's a couple different ways to play it on newer hardware, so I'll probably play it there if I ever do, because I know this is a long ass game, but I know a lot of people love Kingdom Hearts. And as someone who really likes Final Fantasy, I should really like Kingdom Hearts, but I never really had that attachment growing up that a lot of people have, so I'm not as motivated to actually buckle down and play it. Next up, we have another Grail game. This is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Also talked about it in my Ghost in the Shell History of video, so you guys want to go check that out. But this one is very fun. Controls a bit clunky. Complete in box. This one was, I believe, I bought it for $80 on eBay, which is a pretty good price. Come on, close. There we go. But yeah, pretty fun. Has some very good cutscenes. It's the controls are a bit funky. I had to change some of the control schemes, and then eventually got it down to where it was like actually functioning with a human hand. But yeah, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex for the PS2. Very happy to have this in the collection. Next up, we have a very unique game, and that is Stella Deus. This is on the rarer side. I paid a little bit extra for this. But it is published by Atlas, and has sort of a... it's the inside of the case. This one is a bit like Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem. It's that sort of grid-based tactical RPG, but I never really heard anything about it. And then I was watching a video and I was like, obscure PS2 games, and this one popped up and it looked interesting, so I found a copy and I bought it. And the art style is really, really good. So yeah, I've played about maybe 2 hours of this. I do want to go back and play it. This is one probably I'm most intrigued about of all of these to eventually play, just because I literally know, like all of these other games, I know a fair amount about. This one I know literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. But yeah, Stella Deus, The Gate of Eternity on the PS2. Very, very happy to have this collection. I do enjoy, as much as I like, you know, like the typical ones everyone plays, I do like collecting like the obscure ones, like what the hell is this? Oh man, this one, ATV2 Quad Power Racing, or ATV Quad Power Racing 2. I played the shit out of this growing up. This is an ATV racing game where you can kick people off the bike and do tricks and all that stuff. It's really, really fun. The soundtrack, the music they picked for this game influenced my taste in music exponentially. In fact, there's like 4 more ATV games coming out, but this one, probably my all-time favorite racing game, even better than Mario Kart. And then next up we have ATV Off-Road Fury, Off-Road Fury 2, and Off-Road Fury 3. So I think there's 4. I want to say there's 4 that came out on the PS2, but yeah. 3 of the ATV Off-Road Fury games. These are the ones I had growing up, so I bought these. They were like $2 a pop, so it was a no-brainer, and very, very fun. These two, and this one is interesting. This one is a not-for-resale copy, but I think the original copy I had was Greatest Hits. But yeah, this copy was not for resale, which is interesting. But yeah, all 3 ATV Off-Road Fury games that I had growing up. Next up we have MX vs. ATV Unleashed. I actually haven't played this one. This one was one that one of my friends recommended. Complete the box. And I know a lot of people really, really like this one. Is that a freaking go-kart? Oh man. You can tell I've never really opened this one up. But yeah. MX vs. ATV Unleashed. It looks very fun. And if it plays like any of the other ATV games, it will be fun. So I'll probably crack this one open eventually. Okay. So, last 3 for the PS2. Actually, no, last 4. We have Final Fantasy X for the PS2. This is a complete version. Greatest hits. I know some people are like, only Black Label. No greatest hits. But it's, honestly, it's fine. I don't really care. But, I fairly recently got into Final Fantasy. So, it's very interesting that it took me this long to get into Final Fantasy. But I really, really like them. I like all the games that I've played. And so I just picked up all of the Final Fantasy games that I could. And that includes Final Fantasy X-2, also on the PS2. This is the Black Label, complete in-box. As well as Final Fantasy XII. This is a greatest hits copy. This is a lot of people's favorites. It has probably, I think, the most distinct art style, besides 7. But yeah, Final Fantasy XII. I haven't played this yet. I do want to eventually play all of the Final Fantasy games that I own, just because I think it'd be pretty fun. I do have most of them. But yeah, Final Fantasy XII. And the last of the unboxing packages. And this one is pretty cool. So let me get this guy open for you. There we go. Got it open. And we have, wrapped up very nicely in bubble wrap, a complete in-box copy of Final Fantasy XI Online, the RPG. I think the servers are offline. I didn't actually bother checking to see if the servers were offline. At least for PS2, definitely they probably are. This is a complete in-box copy. Comes with the desk jacket, the actual disc, and the very thick manual for how to get your PS2 online and all that stuff. This is a very thick manual. But yeah, complete inbox, comes with everything, and very, very, very nice condition. This cover's a little yellowed, probably just gonna sit out for a while. But I thought it'd just be funny to have a Final Fantasy game that I'm not really ever gonna have the ability to play. It's also not the best. Final Fantasy 11 for a lot of people was like not that fun in like retrospective. But yeah, I just figured it'd be cool to have just as many of the Final Fantasy games as I can get, at least the disc-based ones. I'm not gonna bother trying to find cartridges of Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo, But yeah, Final Fantasy 11 online, and that rounds out the PS2 and PS1 games. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these cleaned up, and we'll get started on the Switch games, which are right here. So yeah, I don't really collect much for the Switch, but when I do buy a Switch game, I usually get it physically. Just because, I guess the whole point of this video is just, I'm very into preservation of media, whether that be books, video games, anything really, music. But if you have a physical of a game, you can play it no matter what, unless it's an only online game. But like with these games, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, I know that if I have a physical copy, I'll be able to play it as long as it has supported hardware, which is nice. And that's most of the reason why I started collecting things in general. It's like I want to keep these things just so that if 1,000 years down the line, there's at least, I think, if like archaeologists come into my room in like 2,000 years and be like, what is all this stuff? It'll be there. They'll know, they can look at it, and if, it's all digital, it's like, oh, well, the hard drive broke. Well, it's all gone, That's the thing. That's the thing with me. Explained quite badly and quite not succinctly. Getting to the Switch games. First up, we have Triangle Strategy. Haven't played this one. Don't know anything about it. The art style looked cool. Moving on. We have Smash Bros. Ultimate. Very, very fun. Really the only fighting game I play. And I don't play it very often. Usually the only time I play it is when I have friends playing it. I have played it by myself occasionally just to unlock all of the unlockable characters, but I really only play this when I have friends playing it as well, or if we're doing like a little game night or something like that. Next up, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Same sort of deal with Smash Brothers. Don't play this all the time, but when I do, it's always fun. It's always usually in a game night sort of scenario. Next up, we have Fire Emblem Engage. I actually quite enjoyed this one. This isn't everyone's favorite, but I thought it was pretty fun. It made my Switch run quite loudly to the point where I was slightly concerned. That's just because I have an old Switch. I have a launch gray model Switch, so it's getting long in the tooth. Come on, Nintendo, release the next one already. But yeah, Fire Emblem Engage. And next up, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses, the game that got me into sort of tactical RPGs. This game is so much fun, even if you're not paying attention to the very, very long and very dramatic and very heart-wrenching at times story. It's just fun. The gameplay's fun. The gameplay in all the Fire Emblem games is fun. I've played the Fire Emblem on the GBA through the Switch Online thing, and that's really fun too. I played about a third of it. Next up, we have Pokemon. We have Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I just barely finished this, so it was pretty fun. Basically, it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow. The catching mechanics were a bit dumb. I didn't think they needed to shoehorn Pokemon Go elements into it, but they did. And there's not much we can do about it now. Next up, we have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. The Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remakes weren't everyone's favorite. I thought they were pretty fun. Cynthia kicked my ass in this game 40 times before I beat her. And yeah, it was just fun. I do want to eventually get all of the Pokemon games. I'm a fairly new Pokemon convert. It's just fun. It's fun. Who can say it's not fun? But I do eventually want to get them all. I do, on my 3DS, have all of them playable, but that's because my 3DS is modded. And it has my buddy's game backups on it. But this is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I don't really want to get... If it has a dual release, I don't bother getting both. Except you'll see quickly how I'm a liar in that statement. But if there's a dual release, I just get one and I'm good. Speaking of, we have Pokemon Sword. This one was the first one I actually ever played. Very, very fun. Very fond memories of this one. First one I actually got my first shiny in, too. You see, it even has the long expired code for getting mystery gifts. And this is, funnily enough, I bought this on Amazon when I bought it. This is the UK version. You can tell because it has a little orange, the green thing right there. And it's Peggy 7 on the bottom. There are a couple Switch. I think, yeah, my Fire Emblem Three Houses is also a European copy. This is what you get sometimes when you buy games on Amazon. Next up, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. Also pretty fun. Thought it changed up the formula pretty well. Doesn't run the best on my Switch. And you have to fan going a few times to concerning volume, like I could hear it over the TV. So I decided to stop. But I thought it changed up things pretty well, and I thought it was fun. I'm excited for the new Legends game that was coming out, I think, next year. And then next up, you know how I said I don't get both? I was one of the suckers that bought the double pack for Scarlet and Violet. I only ever played Violet, so it's open. I've got a little note thing telling me what gym order to do things in. But I never actually opened Scarlet. It's still in its packaging. But yeah, I was one of the suckers who bought the double pack and then realized, oh, these games are kind of janky. And I finished Violet anyways, just out of spite for all the glitches I was having. But yeah, I bought the double pack. I was one of those people. Do I regret it? A little bit. But still, nonetheless, it's in the collection now and it's not going anywhere. Next up, we have Zelda. These are all the Zelda games I have on Switch. So we have Link's Awakening, very fun, super chill remake of Link's Awakening. I'm excited for the new, I think it was Echoes of Wisdom, I think it's called. We actually play Zelda, same art style as this game, but I'm excited for that one. Next up, we have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, also pretty fun. First of the Warriors games I've played, and I thought it was pretty fun. Added some stuff to the story, whether it's canon or not, I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. Next up, we have in here my copy of Breath of the Wild, which I got at GameStop when I bought my Switch. Comes with my GameStop receipt, still in here. We have, Breath of the Wild, complete. Switch games don't really come with much. But it also comes with, in this little booklet thingy here, a little guide to sort of, basically a bigger manual. Think of it that way. It's a manual for the game. So that's part of the reason I picked it up. I was like, oh, it comes with that. Better than just getting the game itself. So that's my copy of Breath of the Wild as I struggle to get it back in here. There we go. Also, let me know. This is the first time using this mic in this sort of setup. Let me know how it sounds when it's out, when this video comes out. Because this is the first time I've actually used a mic in this sort of way. But let me know how it sounds. And then finally, last of the Switch games, we have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Love this. Thought it was really great. They brought my boy Ganondorf back, and he was super hot. But this was very fun. I liked the building mechanics. The storyline was great. The music was great. I just loved it. I'm a big sucker for Zelda, and give me anything Zelda and I'll buy it. And next up, now that the Switch games are done, I'm going to pull this stack forward so we can get started on it. So next up, in these two stacks, these are my PS4 and PS5 games. So I don't have many PS4 games, so there's only 3 or 4 technically. So we have Doom Eternal. It's Doom. What else is there to say about it? It's Doom. It's fun. I bought this pretty much, I think, 2 or 3 days after I bought my PS5. This is the first game I played on it. And yeah, it's very fun. Very, very fun. And there's not much else I can say about it. I'm very excited for Doom Dark Ages. Who isn't? Because it looks great. But next up, we have Final Fantasy X and X-2, the HD remaster. I decided to buy these because if I am going to play 10, X-2, and 12, I do want to play them on so they look quite nice and stuff. So I did buy the remakes and stuff. But we have 10 and X-2, the remaster. Doesn't really come with much. It's just the disc. Next up, we have Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. This is, of course, the HD remake of Zodiac Age. Complete in box. Came with a little slip that doesn't mean nothing. I flipped the cover art to the other side just because I thought it looked cooler. And the last of my PS4 games is I bought the not collector's edition, but the deluxe edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And in this bad boy, we have, if I can get it opened, there we go. We have a little art book for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Very, very cool. And that. We have the game itself. The discs aren't in here, but it's the original case. And it comes with a steelbook, which the discs are in, like so. And it also comes with a soundtrack CD, which I do not have a CD player, so I have no way of playing this. But I will eventually get a CD player, because there's a couple soundtracks I want to get. And I bought this secondhand, but this thing isn't even open, the CD. So I'm very excited. It's actually the first time I've noticed that. So I'm very happy to see that, actually. But I bought the secondhand. I wanted to get the deluxe editions for all of the sort of PS4, PS5 based Final Fantasy games, but I never buy it when it comes out. I wanted to get the deluxe edition for the next game, but I ran out of time pre-ordering it, so I wasn't able to. But I will eventually get the deluxe editions for all of the PS4 and PS5 Final Fantasy games, because they do a really good job with it. Speaking of the game I was just about to talk about, that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Absolutely love this game. Absolutely love this game. Really long. It took me about 80 hours to get most of the way through, completing not all of the side quests, but most of them and everything in it. I just love this game. It's so good. Everyone needs to play this. Play Remake and play this. It's so good. Next up, we have Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, the remake of Crisis Core on the PSP. I haven't played this yet, but I will eventually, just because it's more Final Fantasy, and it changes things up a little bit. But yeah, I picked this up. I got this for, I want to say $20. I bought it off a buddy of mine. Next up, we have the first Final Fantasy game I ever played, which sort of snowballed me into the Final Fantasy rabbit hole that I fell into. That is Final Fantasy 16. Love this game. Love the DLCs. It's really good. It's not everyone's favorite. I know a lot of people were kind of miffed that it was like mainly an action game, not so much a like action RPG like the rest of them. But I thought it was really fun. The soundtrack was phenomenal. I love the plot, and it comes with a free trial for Final Fantasy 14. Which I will say is probably the one Final Fantasy game I won't touch. I don't like MMOs very much that are in that style, so I probably won't play it. But that's Final Fantasy 16. Next up, one of my other favorite games from this year, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Really like this game. I actually did a review of it up on the channel if you guys want to go check that out. Of all the games sitting here on this table that I either am not currently or have not done a replay of yet, this is probably the next one I do a replay of. It's really good. I really like the cel-shaded artwork, and it's just, the story is really cool, and yeah, it's just really, really cool. And it's really easy to jump into if you've never like played a Grand Blue game, because I never had up to this point. And yeah, it's really easy to jump into. The story is really good. Art style is really good. Combat is really fun. It's co-op. You can play with your friends. But yeah. Next up, we have Ghost of Tsushima, the game that made me buy a PS5. You have no idea. For several years, I wanted to play this game so badly. And I didn't have a PS4 Pro. I didn't have a PS5. And then I finally, where I used to work, had finally PS5s in stock. And I bought one. And this was the first game. I say first, second game I bought, because I had to actually find where it was in stock. But this is the director's cut. Absolutely love this game. It's so good. And yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. I've replayed this game like 3 times now. It's so good. Next up, we have the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. I bought this because I saw they're remaking Metal Gear Solid 3, so I figured it'd probably be pretty good to have the first 3 games in their semi-original state. This is the first 3 games, and Metal Gear 1 and 2 are also in this. But I picked this up because I like having collections. It's a good way of consolidating things. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 I'm excited for Volume 2 because I don't know what games they're going to put in there. Are they going to put Revengeance in it? What's all going in there, you know? But yeah, I'm also excited for Snake Eater, the remake of Snake Eater come out, because I really want to play it. I think it looks really, really good. Next up, we have Demon Souls. This game kicked my ass. Not much else to say about it. I was doing a magic build, so it was a little easier, but still, it kicked my ass. Another game that kicked my ass. Armored Core 5. Fire's Rubicon. Do not think, oh, it's a mech game. It'll be fun. This game is hard as nails, but it is pretty fun, nonetheless. I don't think I fully finished it. I got pretty close to the end, and I was like just rage quitting a bit because I was at a really hard point. But yeah, Fire's Rubicon kicked my ass. It's a hard game, but if you like a challenge, I recommend it. Next up, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. This came with a copy to get the remaster. Didn't work. Code didn't work. Which didn't surprise me. I bought this secondhand. Although the seller did say the code would work, he didn't use it. But I think he was lying. But that didn't bother me too much because I paid like $20 for it. And Mayube, who I just did a collab with, you go check it out on her channel, she actually sent me an extra copy that she had of the original Spider-Man on PS4. So I now have that digitally now. So thanks, Mayube. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage. All of the recent Assassin's Creed games, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Origins, that one. This one I think was the best. It's the shortest. It's the smallest. Surprisingly good. If you've been kind of off the Assassin's Creed bandwagon, this is a good one now to jump in on. I have no idea how Shadows is going to pan out. All the sort of controversy around it. I say controversy because it's not really controversy. It's just people not understanding historical fact that are angry. It's pretty fun. I do recommend it. And it kind of ties into Valhalla if you never finished Valhalla. Because I know I didn't. I got really close to the end. I was like, how much longer does this game have? And I just Googled the ending. Next up, we have Like a Dragon Ishin. I haven't played much of this game. I picked it up because I thought it looked interesting. Gameplay was pretty fun. There's a lot of menuing, which kind of put me off of it. But still, the gameplay's fun. It's a Yakuza game. I do want to try the new Infinite Wealth that just came out, but probably wait a little while till I get that. But yeah, Like a Dragon Ishin. And next up, we have Street Fighter 6. I picked this one up because a buddy of mine had it, and he kicked my ass so many times I stopped playing. I am not good at fighting games, one bit. But it was still pretty fun. I like that you had somewhat of a campaign, and you can make your own character, which is pretty fun. But I'm not very good at fighting games, so this is probably the last fighting game I'll ever buy, unless they make like a fighting game with Master Chief in it or something. Next up, we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Really like this one. I have Fallen Order digitally, don't have it physically, but I really liked Survivor. Thought it was really fun. Campaign was great. Story was great. Combat, awesome. I don't know how the new Star Wars game is going to turn out. I'm hopeful, but I'm not optimistic. But yeah. This and Fallen Order are very good. I highly recommend people play these. If you've never played a Souls-like, this is probably the most approachable one out there. Very fun. If you like Star Wars, play these. It's a no-brainer. Next up, we have God of War Ragnarok. I have the God of War 2016 digitally. When I got my PS5, it had a couple of the greatest hits games for free on PS Plus, so I got it through there. But Ragnarok, I absolutely love this game. It's a heavy hitter narratively, and it's a lot of game to sink your teeth into. It is really fun. I recommend anyone play it, and it's just really fun. If you like story-based games, it's hard to go wrong with the newest God of War games. I'm excited to see where they go next. Whether they make another one or if Studio Santa Monica makes a whole new IP or something like that. And the last of the PS5 games in my collection is Dragon's Dogma 2. Haven't played much of this. Got about 3 hours in and I kind of got bored. But I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and play it again sometime soon. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the last of my PS5 games. So that's most of the collection gone. The only stuff I have left is my Xbox stuff. I say Xbox because I'm including Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series, since you can play all of them on the Series X. So yeah, that's the stack, and here is a secondhand for one I bought, but this is the Halo 3 Collector's Edition statue of the Master Chief, and in here I actually have a couple of games because the helmet comes off the stand. And in here, I have a few more games. These are my grab in case of fire games, just because they have very much sentimental value to me. But those are probably ones I'll finish with. Let me put that back on there. But yeah, I do want to collect more Xbox 360 and original Xbox games, especially because they're fairly cheap to collect right now. I know the prices are kind of going up, but they're still fairly cheap compared to everything else. But starting off, we have Halo 2, original Xbox. I do want to own all of the Halo games, like original Halo games. Even though I have Master Chief Collection, I do want to own them all physically. This is complete. I actually went to a local game store and bought this just to go check them out. And they had a lot of very good selection. And yeah, so here's Halo 2, original. We have the Halo 2 map pack, which I picked this up. It was $3. I was like, I've never seen this. I mean, I knew it exists, but I'd actually never seen a physical copy of it. So, but I picked that up just to be interesting. We have Halo 3 ODST. This is slowly taking the spot of my favorite Halo game. It used to be Halo 2, then it was Halo 3, then it was Halo Reach, and now this one is very close to taking Halo Reach as my favorite. I just really, really like this game. I really desperately want to figure out how I can play it for you guys on the channel, but with the setup I have now, it's not really possible for me to record on my Xbox or my PC, which seems kind of funny because how can you not record on a PC? I don't have the facilities to, but I do eventually want to do a playthrough of either ODST or Halo Reach for the channel. Funny story about this copy of Halo Reach. The reason it doesn't have anything in it, I was at a buddy's house doing a school project, and I saw he had this. And I was like, hey, can I have your copy of Halo Reach? And he was like, sure. I just gave it to me. So that's how I got my copy of Halo Reach. I had played it before at a buddy's house. This is the game actually that first taught me how to use like a twin stick controller for like shooters and every other sort of adventure game where it's like one is for movement, one is for camera. This is what I learned on. So, and the story itself is great. I've read the Halo novel, The Fall of Reach, and this sort of retcons a few things in that, but still, the story of both is actually really good. Next up, we have Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns. So, this is the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. 13 isn't everyone's favorite, but I picked it up because I actually got this on Goodwill finds for like $20 for all 3 games. They were a bit ratty. I had to clean them up a little bit. But these play great on the Series X. If you're going to play Final Fantasy 13 at all, play it on the Series X just because of the backwards compatibility. It makes it so much better. So much easier to play. Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. I haven't actually cracked into these very much. I played like the first couple hours of 13 just to get the gist of it. But yeah, it's fun. But I do understand why people like, why is it so linear? It's linear. But I like linear. It makes it easier to understand. Next up, we actually have a game I'm replaying right now, and one of my favorite games of all time ever, and that is Asura's Wrath. I love this game so much. I do need to clean the case up a little bit, but this game is great. Very, very underrated. The thing with this game is it plays like an anime. You have episodes, and there's even breaks for commercials. There's little bumpers for commercial breaks. But it's really, really cool. It's more of a action narrative game rather than just purely action. It's very story-based. There's a lot of quick-time events. The controls are a bit clunky, but there's a whole lot of cutscenes, and the story is really, really good. I like it. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and it's just underrated. More people need to play this. I have it digitally, but I picked up a physical copy just to have it. You could best place to play it is on Xbox. You can play it on PS5, but you don't have access to any of the DLC. You do need to buy about $8 worth of DLC to get the whole story experience, which when it came out kind of pissed people off, so I didn't do too well. But with everything in it, included with it, it's a really, really fun game, and I'm replaying it right now, and I'm having a great time. Next up, we have another one of my favorites. That is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This is a sealed copy. It will stay sealed forever. See, it even has the Xbox sticker on the spine. But yeah, I played this, and it's really, really good. And I needed a physical of it, and I was like, there's a freaking factory sealed copy for like $20. Hell yeah, I'll buy that. So yeah. If you haven't played this game, play it. It's fun as hell, and it's wild. Now we're getting into the Xbox One and Xbox Series X games. Like I mentioned before, Master Chief Collection. Not much I can say about it. It's all the Halo games except for 5. I also have Halo 5. Not the best, but not the worst Halo game for many people. Honestly, I think Halo 4, for me, Halo 4 is a bit lower than Halo 5 on my totem pole. But that's purely just because Buck is in this one. I like Buck. Next up, we have Skyrim. This is the special edition. I bought this. This is the first copy that came out on the Xbox. This is the only copy I've ever bought. I don't have the anniversary. I don't have the blah 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 billion edition. But yeah, I have Skyrim. Next up, we have the Crash Insane Trilogy. It's all 3 Crash games remade. Very, very fun. I highly recommend people play it. The Crash games are harder than I remember them being. Playing through it, I was like, man, I just suck at platformers. No, it's just these games are hard. But very, very fun. And I'm actually playing through Crash Bandicoot 4 right now on my PS5. It's very fun. Very, very fun. Same sort of difficulty, but a little bit more welcoming, I would say. Play any of the Crash Bandicoot games. I'm biased. I love Crash. I love my boy Crash. Next up, we have Valkyria Chronicles 4. I picked this up because it looked interesting. I watched a review of it. I actually haven't played it. Actually, it comes with a controller skin, which I'll probably never use, but it's cool to have. It's a little Shiba Inu. But yeah, Valkyria Chronicles 4. It's like Fire Emblem in World War I, essentially, or World War II, more like. That's the gist of it. Next up, we have Rise, Son of Rome. This is one of my favorite games of all time. More people need to play this. It's really underrated. It's really, really good. It's an action game. It was a launch game for the Xbox One, but it's really, really good. It's awesome. More people need to play it, and yeah, I just love it. I have all the codes. I can guarantee you all the codes are expired. Let's see. Is there an expiration date on this? On this, no, but it still says copyright 2014 Microsoft, so it probably is expired. But yeah, more people need to play this. And we also have Cyberpunk 2077. I have this on my PS5 as well, but I got the physical of the Xbox. That's the first console I played it on. But I love this game. It is so good. I played it at launch. I stuck through it. Stuck through the bugs and the rockiness. And out on the other side, it was the most awesomeness of any sort of RPG I've played. Honestly, it's my favorite RPG. I love this game to death. I've replayed it like 10 times at this point. It's just so good. And Phantom Liberty, chef's kiss. Perfect way to end the game. I know they're still doing a couple updates here and there, but those are more like bug fixes and patches and stuff like that. No big content is going to come this way. At least not yet. Maybe they'll do something. But I'm excited for the next game, or Project Orion is the code name. But it's not going to come out until after The Witcher 4 comes out. But yeah, I just love this game. If you didn't get this at launch because of all the bugginess and jankiness, get it now. It's really, really, really good. It's totally playable, 100%. Very, very fun. Highly recommend. Of all the games on this table right now that I'd want to do a playthrough of on the channel, it's Cyberpunk, but it's such a long game. I don't know. It'd be such a long playthrough. And the last few games here were coming out of my Grab in Case of Fire Master Chief helmet. And these are just purely nostalgia based. This is, let's get in order here. We have Destiny 1 on the Xbox One. This is a copy I bought in middle school when this game first came out. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I have so many good memories of this. Playing it with friends, doing my first raid. Yeah, the rocky state that Bungie is in right now makes me feel so sad. But the Destiny is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I mean, I love Halo, but Destiny has a very special place in my heart. And yeah, we have. Speaking of, we have Destiny: The Taken King. Now, when I bought this, funnily enough, I thought I was just getting like a digital code. No, it's a whole another copy of of Destiny 1 with all the expansion passes and everything. I think, yeah, I even put all the slips that came in here because this was the copy I started using when Taken King came out. Taken King, to this day, probably the best Destiny expansion besides Lightfall. Or not Lightfall, Final Shape. God, not Lightfall. Lightfall sucked. But Final Shape was very fun. Next up, we have the physical copy of Destiny 2. I couldn't sell this for jack shit now because it's free. But it's a physical copy of Destiny 2, the game that is now famously free to play. But yeah, I bought this. This came out my sophomore year in junior year in high school. Bought it. I still play it to this day. I love it. If you ever play Destiny 2, find me online. I'll put my gamer tag somewhere in text somewhere. If you ever want to play some Destiny 2 together, add me. And the last game in my Xbox collection is Ace Combat 7. Love this game so much. Play it. It's really good. It's real good. There's a bunch of DLC for it. You can get a whole bunch of cool planes. I have it on here and on my PS5. I have a playthrough of this on my channel. If you guys want to watch me play this game, I absolutely love it. It's a full playthrough. Everything it's on there. If you guys want to see me play Ace Combat 7, watch it. It's really fun. Yeah. Now, I hear what you're thinking. Why your collection's done? What else is there to talk about? There's still a few minutes left in the video. Well, that's because the other reason I made this video is to also say that I'm starting a new collection. I recently, a few weeks ago, bought a GameCube. This is a black, let's see, what's the, yeah, DOL-001. This is a launch model. I've got an Eon Mark II GCHD adapter back here for my HDMI stuff. Works great. Works awesome. There's nothing in here. But yeah, I just recently bought a GameCube. There's really, of all the generations of the games I've played, the GameCube is the one I have absolutely missed out on. Didn't have one growing up. I had a Wii, so I guess I had a GameCube growing up. But I never actually used the GameCube capabilities of the Wii. I honestly didn't know what a GameCube was when the Wii came out. But yeah, I bought a GameCube, and I have a few games. Now, not a lot. GameCube is not cheap to collect for. All the games that I want are close to $100. And there's not many that I want. The main piece of hardware left on this is the Game Boy player and the Game Boy player disc. I saw a listing on eBay for both, and the listing was like $250. And that's mostly for the disc. The disc is the hard thing to find. But I have a few games here already, and I started playing one already because it's not in the packaging anymore. And that is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I absolutely love this game. When I bought it, it was just the disc. It was the disc only. But I bought a reproduction case on Etsy, and I have the manual coming. It's going to be here in a couple days. But I didn't want to install the video for a manual. But yeah, I'm see, I think I'm I want to say just past the halfway point, maybe a little bit more towards 2/3 of the way done with this, from what I remember. But yeah, I'm having so much fun playing through this. It's so good. So good. And I get what they mean. The GameCube controller, it's very comfortable. I just have like a old school reproduction controller. I do really want to get a Bluetooth controller for it. There's a Nixie Warrior picture here that I want to get for the GameCube. It can also work for the Switch and the PC. But that's the main game that I'm playing on here right now. But I have two more, and I have packaged, so it's still an unboxing. We have right here, we have in fairly good condition the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, not for resale promotional disc, for include tour games inside. But this is essentially a disc copy of Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and Zelda 1 and 2. It's a disc copy, and you can play it on the GameCube. It also has a demo for Wind Waker, which is the other Zelda game I want to get eventually, but Wind Waker isn't cheap. But yeah, very excited to have this. I saw this at a buddy's house, and I was like, "What the hell is this? That's so cool!" And he's like, "Oh, you can't play it. I'm not gonna let you play it." And I was like, "Oh man!" But it's like a memory seared into my mind from when I was like 10. But yeah, this is really cool to have in the collection. Can I play all of these games that are included on the Switch, minus the Wind Waker demo? Yes. Do I care? Not one bit. And next up, the actual last game in the collection, we have, just because I thought it looked interesting, the GameCube copy of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. This is the only Final Fantasy game that came out on the GameCube. This is complete in box. I stuck it in there, made sure it read a little earlier. But yeah, very, very interesting. This is a very, like, I want to say, chibi art style. That's the word I want to use. But this is multiplayer too, so you can play with your friends. I'm interested to check this one out. But yeah. Yeah. And man, yeah, this uses a lot of save data. Because this thing still uses memory cards. But yeah. That is now the end of my collection video. That's literally every video game I own physically. So that is all for today's video, folks. I will say very quickly, this was a lot of fun to do. And it's also a very fun way of keeping inventory for myself. Just to make sure, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. I don't need to try to find that, stuff like that. But yeah, this is very fun to film. I hope you guys had fun watching. A little mini announcement. The next big video coming out will not be a manga haul because I haven't bought any manga in like 2 months because I have been saving up to buy this and my textbooks for college. You guys can't see this. There's a pile about 2 feet high of textbooks for grad school. They are expensive, so I haven't bought any manga in quite a while. That's why there haven't been any manga hauls, because I've been saving money for that. Once I start getting back in the swing of things, buying manga regularly, manga hauls will start coming back up. But just figured I'd let you guys know, because I know some people are here just for the manga, and there's some people who just don't care. They're just watching my stuff because I like to watch my stuff. But the manga hauls will be on the back burner for a while until I can get sort of into the swing of things with grad school, get my schedule under down, and sort of figure out how much free time I'm going to have. But yeah, and the other big announcement, the next History of video is going to be on Vampire Hunter D. So I figured I'd just let you guys know now. I'm in the early stages of research, so it's going to be probably about a month till that video comes out. But the next History of video is going to be Vampire Hunter D. So I hope you guys stay excited for that. I'm excited to make it. But yeah, that is it for the video now. I have a lot of cleaning up to do. A lot. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And check out my Obe's channel. I just did a collab with her. And go check it out. It was a lot of fun to do. A lot of really awesome people to meet and work with. But yeah, I just did a collab with her. I'll put a link to her channel in the description, so you guys can go check it out. But yeah, that is it for the video. So I hope you guys had a fun time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!